Welcome to the So Social Radio Show. I'm your host, Richard Martin, along with my amazing co-host,
Cheri Martin, and we are the WCN Interactive Team, business growth, marketing, and social media strategists, helping you to
dream it, plan it, build it, and most importantly, successfully do it.
That's what it's all about. You've got to take action, and that's to help you reach that growth, prosperity, and success. And each Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time here on TalkNetworkRadio.com, we share tips and techniques to grow you and your business, plus demystify social media and marketing for you so that you can have more fun.
And my favorite, more profits.
And we are going to have lots of fun today because we have a very special guest. I mean, all our guests are special, but every time I say that, I love getting to know each one of them more when we bring them on our show. Evelyn and I have really, you're there, right? I want to make sure I give a shout out. She's calling in from Prairieville, Louisiana today. So I want to just say hello first. Can you hear us?
Hello.
All right. She can hear us. And Evelyn, I don't think we've actually met in person yet, have we?
No, we've connected through WPN, Women's Prosperity Network.
That's right. We were in an accountability group together, and we've just connected through Facebook and LinkedIn and all these fun social network sites. So that's what I love about social media, another aspect of what makes it awesome as a networking tool and a relationship building tool. But we're going to do an official welcome for Evelyn here in just a few moments, but she's actually going to share with us how to be a business exhibitionist.
Ooh.
So that sounds kind of exciting,
sounds
doesn't
edgy
it?
there,
A little
yes.
edgy, yeah. We'll let our audience know a little bit more about that in just a few moments. But we first want to, of course, give a shout out to our partners.
Absolutely so. Without our partners, we wouldn't be here. I want to start with Toastmasters, a world leader in communications and leadership development. Find out how you can improve on your speaking and leadership skills. Visit toastmastersd84.org.
And also Constant Contact, which is an award-winning company empowering small businesses and nonprofits to help you grow and succeed through email marketing. Yes, email marketing is not dead. It is one of the most viable tools that every business should have in their toolbox. You can be a marketer with one toolkit, one login. You can actually try Constant Contact with a 60-day free trial account by just going to bit.ly/WCN free CTCT and actually start growing your marketing list. And that's bit.ly/WCNFREECTCT.
And everythingbrevard.com, a Brevard County, Florida public website, keeping you up to date on everything that's happening in Brevard, and get your business listing on Everything Brevard also.
Exactly. Now, we do invite you to come over and give us a big like over here on So Social Radio Show on Facebook. We do have a top pin post there with some information about today's guest as well as the topic. If you have any questions at all during the show today, make sure you just put those questions in the comment thread, and we'll get to those and make sure that as we have Evelyn here with us, we'll ask her those questions because she is the marketing brand expert to help you understand how to get more leads and more profits by maximizing your trade show, conferences, and job fairs. So we're going to learn lots more from her today, but I do want to do an official introduction of her. And, before we get started here, I also want to just mention, spring is here. And we are just, I don't know what it's like in Louisiana today, but we're experiencing a beautiful spring day here in Florida. No humidity yet.
77 degrees, and I don't know where the humidity is, but it's low, which is great for us.
It really is. So I'm anxious to hear what's happening in Louisiana here when we bring Evelyn on. But Evelyn Flynn is an entrepreneur, branding consultant specializing in trade show marketing. She's also a Women's Prosperity Certified Speaker and owner of AdWorks Promotions. And she's been involved in the promotional industry since 1984. And her broad marketing knowledge and expertise has helped hundreds of businesses to brand themselves and create that all-important buzz, resulting in more prospects, more clients, and I know your favorite, more revenue, Richard.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the name of the game. That's why we're in business.
And as I said, today our topic is going to be in how to become a business exhibitionist. And she gave me the Webster's Dictionary definition of exhibitionist, and it says the act or practice of behaving so as to attract attention to oneself. So I want to welcome Evelyn Flynn to the So Social Radio Show, because she's going to share with us today how to attract more attention to ourselves so we can increase our profits and grow our business. So welcome, Evelyn.
Thank you, Cheri and Richard. Appreciate this opportunity to be on your So Social Radio Show. And I'm so excited to share with your audience how to be a business exhibitionist. Because we go to trade shows, we exhibit at trade shows, or we go to job fairs or conferences, and we really don't see that return on our investments when we go to that show. So that's why I've chose this topic to be a business exhibitionist. And what I want to do is tell you how to develop more qualified prospects at your next trade show event is what I want to do, Cheri. And just to tell you a little bit about myself, I've been in the promotional marketing industry for 30 plus years.
Wow.
And developed and done many projects with many different companies, big and large, small. I've worked overseas with some heavy-duty construction companies. I just finished up a project in Saudi Arabia with a company over there, a large construction company. In fact, I've done this project twice. And I've worked with another division of their area in Kuwait twice.
Wow, so that's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's different because you're working on different time zones.
Mm-hmm.
Supplier on one time zone, I'm on another, and then Kuwait time. So it's crazy, very crazy.
Well,
but
that's why you never get any sleep, right?
That's right, you don't. And until you get that promotional products over to them across the borders and through customs, you don't sleep.
Oh, my gosh.
So it's so nice when they say, "Oh, I received it," and they send you that email. I'm so, thank you.
Well,
as Nancy would say, yes, that's what I want to say.
That's right. When somebody asks, can you help me, you never say no. You always find a way.
Right. That is so true.
That's exactly... Well, that's exactly what helps us become successful, too, and build our reputation, helps us build our reputation so that others do start getting to know, like, and trust us. And I know that the online marketing has to be such a powerful tool for you with, doing a global reach.
It is, and I'm really on a mission to help because we're in an area that flooded this year, and I don't know if y'all know that,
Mm-hmm.
but we had severe flooding here, and a lot of our businesses suffered, and homeowners suffered because y'all are in counties, we're in parishes, and a lot of people are inundated and still getting back in their homes and
Mm-hmm.
getting back their businesses up and running. So I'm trying to promote Keep Your Dollars. I know local. Spend your money local with local businesses. I know I'm out to the audience in Florida, and other areas, but we could use some of your dollars here to help in our area.
Mm-hmm.
And promoting our businesses in other area, and we welcome you to promote in our area too. I want to tell you a little bit about Cheri and Richard, how I came about this. And I'm on a mission for trade shows, is that I was at my Tallahassee WPN school for certified speaking, and this just arrived in my mind to do trade shows because I thought, what is the biggest issue with trade shows? People don't follow up. They don't get the results. They don't plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so out of this, I did a speech in my Tallahassee speaking class that I got certification for, and this is what derived from it 4 years ago. And I'm on a mission to help companies and small business owners have a way of promoting their business and getting the success and seeing a return on their investment when they attend that trade show.
And that's what really sets you apart from other promotional companies, because you recognized a need for more assistance. Yes, they can order their promotional products from you, but by you offering that special consulting service, by serving them and helping them understand how they needed to look at their different promotional products and why they would want to pick something over, one object over another, so that they are actually getting more attraction, and as you say, gaining attraction, being an exhibitionist or a business exhibitionist there at the trade shows. So I know you shared a story with us about what you had observed at a trade show. If you wanted to share that with our audience, and why this is kind of the why you chose this purpose.
Yes, and this story, it hits home, and when people hear this, they're going to go, yeah, that happens to me when I go to a trade show. Several years ago, while I was attending a trade show, I watched as two women stood at the end of the trade show booth, stuffing shirts in bags and handing them out along the line. And I stood there in amazement because their sales pitch was nothing more than a smile. There you go. See ya. Never did one recipient hear a sales pitch. They didn't collect any business cards. They never stepped into the booth. They never requested anything for exchange for that shirt.
Unbelievable.
So when the shirt stock was depleted, I heard one of the young women say to the other, "Wow, that was a great show. We gave out over 1,000 T-shirts." And I'm going, wow, did I miss something?
Yeah, somebody's probably missing between $4,000 and $5,000. Yes,
I'm thinking they probably were told, no, don't come home till the shirts are gone.
Yeah. In other words, they just stuck that company's money in the bag, and those people just walked away with it, never knowing what the company did, what the purpose of the shirt. What was the recipient, the key buyer's decision maker? They never got any of that. And do they even sell T-shirts?
But everybody that goes to these trade shows, the attendees, they're looking for these free gifts, right?
Free gifts.
I mean, I see that we've spoken at a number of different expos as well, and we see this all the time. And one of my, they just are standing there either behind their table in the booth or, outside and just handing those gifts away and not even striking up a conversation.
That's right. And you hear a lot of them say, or I've seen this too, where they're shopping. We're shopping for our kids or our grandkids. I've had people tell me that at a show, I'm shopping for my grandkids. I don't sell this stuff. My son does. Can I get another free one?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Have another free one.
Like you haven't heard that 10,000 times, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's very interesting that you've observed this and you saw right away that light bulb went off. Because you are the expert in marketing, you really realize you knew you had to serve others by helping them understand the importance of strategically thinking through their next expo.
And Cheri, I've been guilty of some of these things.
Oh, we all have, I'm sure.
I've done many trade shows over the 30 years I've been in business. I've attended many trade shows. We do big expos in Orlando, Dallas, Vegas, Chicago, and I see suppliers do the same thing, and distributors that go attend shows, and they just give away all their money is left on the trade show floor with no result.
Well, I know, Richard, you go to the air shows, which are basically expos. And
we'll be going to one in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
And you observe the same thing, that they don't even, one of the things I know, the aviation air shows, when they have the aircrafts, they're expecting that all the attendees are there to buy an airplane, which is like, I don't think so.
They're there to watch. They're there to watch the F-16s and F-18s and all those jets fly by. The rest of it is amusement for 90% of the people that are there. There's 10% that are seriously looking, but you have to get the weed off the shaft first.
Yeah,
and they don't set any.
Yeah,
and they don't have anything set up to make it really work for them, so that they have a good follow-up system in place.
Right.
Well, go ahead. Do you have one?
But I was going to start into one of my major key elements in trade shows, and my number one thing is planning. Plan ahead.
That dirty four-letter word again.
Yeah, that's a dirty word. But most people don't plan. They just go to a trade show and wing it. And they do it on impulse. It's kind of like impulse buying, impulse trade show. And I'm thinking, they don't really think the process of what they could get in the return on their investment if they would plan 6 months in advance or a year in advance, and really sit down and look at their plan and their strategic ideas of going to this trade show. And is this their target audience that they're going to this trade show? Is these people going to be their target audience?
That's a really major point there, because I know that there are a number of associations and conferences and such that people are invited to, and of course most people are trying, the event planners are trying to sell sponsorships and vendor tables, and they give you sometimes some false hope that you can be in front of all these people, but being in front of the right people is the key point.
It is, and finding out, how many people's attending that trade show, what type of businesses are attending that trade show, what type of people are attending that trade show. Are they going to be your ideal target audience?
So what are some questions you should ask yourself when you're planning that trade show or your next event that you're going to be showcasing at a booth?
Well, when preparing, number one question, what's the purpose of the show? I think people don't think about it. They don't think of the purpose of attending that trade show. Is it your ideal audience? And what type of return investment are you looking for? And another thing is the objective of attending. What's your objective of attending?
Oh, I want to walk out with a couple $100,000 in sales.
Well, that's it. I mean, you need to set the goal of what you're looking for when you're going to that. How much are you going to be looking for in return on your investment? Because you have a large investment you're making. Some of these shows are very, very expensive. They're not $700 or $800 shows. They're 10 and up.
Exactly.
So you want to make sure that you know your objective and what you're planning on getting at it. And what do you hope to accomplish with your promotional giveaways that you select? Are they the right type of giveaways for this audience that you're going to? And does it match up with your branding and what you do and your products and services?
Yeah, I see a lot of times at trade shows, you walk up and they have the pens, they have the candy, they, the same old, but really what is that? Is there a strategic thought behind that actual giveaway?
Yeah. And you want to know how many people's attending that trade show.
Very good point.
Because if you have a large audience coming by your booth and you're understaffed, you could be overwhelmed. And then you're missing business because you didn't staff your booth with enough people.
Yeah, we've been in a situation like that over a trade show we went at Tampa one time. We had tremendous turnout, more than what the promoters were even thinking about. And there was a lot of stuff that was going on, and a lot of people, not only just us, but a lot of the big corporations ran out of handouts, flyers, and everything else that was there.
Well, and one of the things Richard and I have learned along the years is we do speak at a lot of these different expos, and we need to start thinking about, okay, when we're in the presentation room, who's manning our booth? We've left it vacant before, and we've learned that's just not the right thing to do. So always make sure your booth is manned as well.
Mm-hmm. And another thing I've been talking about already is, are these people that are attending your trade show buyers or clients? Okay. Are all your buyers or your clients? And a big question we want to ask ourselves is, every single time, what has been your past return on your investment for these shows?
So when you
looking at it and see how many leads have you got, how much revenue have you brought in from these trade shows, how many of these leads have you got have turned into customers?
So what I'm hearing is you need to make sure that after the event you have a time blocked out on your calendar to assess that show. So that
assess it. And if you've been going to that show, what has been your return on your investment?
Mm-hmm.
You might want to rethink that in your planning and go, well, this hasn't been a show that I've gotten business from. It's been very slow, not much traffic. Maybe they didn't promote the trade show. That's the thing.
Yeah, we've been to some various franchise trade shows before, and we went to a couple of them, and it didn't take us long to figure out that the people that were in there were looking for franchises. They weren't looking for marketing.
Right.
On that setup. Now, I won't say it was a total waste, but it wasn't an optimal situation for what we were in at that point in time. So I totally understand.
Yeah.
You've got to be congruent in everything from A to Z.
Right. And you can also, another thing I look at too is, if this trade show is a good fit, and it's the type of thing where you might want to have a promotional theme for your trade show.
Mm. Give an example of that. How would you do that?
Well, I'm going to give you an example. We're all short-staffed right now. Getting employees and keeping them is the main thing in our businesses now.
Mm-hmm.
And finding qualified employees. So this company, this is just a case history study. They were exhibiting at an event where they were hiring recipients, recruiting. Okay, it was a recruiting trade show.
Mm-hmm.
And the company selected a theme. It says, it's a jungle out there. And the first part of their promotion involved a 3-part pre-show mailing to all potential reps. And these mailings featured jungle graphics, a copy which tied in with a theme, appropriate promotional products, invitation to the show, and promises of prizes. And their booth carried the theme forward by being decorated like a jungle. And it had foliage. It had 150-plus jungle animals, jungle sounds, and their booth personnel were in safari clothes, branded with their company logo. And, of course, a new product line on display.
Mm-hmm.
So that made a major impact for this business because the results was phenomenal. The results were 280 out of 300 target reps to visit that booth. And the company selected and signed 95 reps as a result of this program. And this company gave the company 100% national coverage, so there's no need to do another recruit program for their new line.
Just by going through those planning stages and being thoughtful, and obviously their booth probably was the one that stood out the most.
Right. And that's branding stands out, your trade show booth, and your themes, it's attracting your audience. Just getting them in there can get you your business. And not displaying products, but really looking at the booth and what it can do to attract that client that really is interested in your products or services.
How about promoting your booth, or to people online on social media, maybe through email, so that you can actually invite them?
Yes, and this is something I like to do with my clients, and I recommend this in the planning to start out, is to do a direct mail piece.
Oh, yep. Good idea.
Yeah, do a direct mail piece and send a VIP recognition buttons and attach them to a postcard with a trade show booth number, so they know where your booth number is, the location of the event, and tell your customers and prospects if they wear the button when visiting your booth, they'll receive a nice gift. But these are customers.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
you're getting your customers in there, and this way you're driving traffic to your booth because you took the time to target those accounts and made the client and the prospects feel what? Important.
Came that VIP pin. It sounds like that button. I love it.
VIP pin. Yeah. So direct mail is a really good way to drive traffic because people see people going to your booth and they go, oh, well, I don't want to be left out. What are they doing over there? You're kind of putting that pressure on them, but it makes other people step into the booth that may not step in. If they see a lot of traffic going over there, they're going to come to your booth.
Yeah, I know when we were doing our stuff in the franchise expos and stuff, the first year we put all our handouts on a table right up front. And we realized that we went through a lot of paper, but not a lot of results. So then the next year we went, okay, let's put that table for all the goodies at the back of the booth, where they actually have to walk into the booth, and put some chairs around where people can sit down. Totally different level of acceptance. And we had a lot of traffic that wasn't there, that wasn't for us, but nonetheless, we had that 10% that we were looking for.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Richard, because a lot of times that's what people do. They put their table right out front, and it's like a barricade.
Yeah.
You're standing behind it, and that's just like putting a barricade up.
Yep.
You're not welcoming them in, and you're not giving that friendly approach.
Mm-hmm.
So if they have to come into the booth, it's better to put it in the back and you be up front. Is sending that warm welcome and extend that handshake and say, hey, how can I help you? What is it that you're looking for? How can I bring value to this position, know?
Well, one of my biggest pet peeves at trade shows, and I know that myself in the beginning, before I really understood my purpose of being at a trade show, is seeing people sitting down behind their table and just waving to people as they come by, and like you say, handing out items. They don't, again, Richard and I make sure that one of us is always out front where the other one is, walking around the trade show or, the expo and, meeting other people. In fact, I know that's one of your trade show tips is, if you want to share with our audience, how do you divide and conquer at trade shows? What are some of your recommendations?
Well, and I want to add to your point about you talking about integrating marketing campaigns. Social media is so powerful. If you're going out to another state to do a trade show, why not use your social media and let people know you're there?
Yeah.
Put your booth number out there. Put it out. Put your business out there. Let them know you're going to be in that area. Hey, come by. I'll have a free gift for you if you spend 2 minutes with me, and let's get to know one another.
Yeah, taking pictures of your booths and putting them out on Instagram and maybe doing a Facebook Live or something like that. It's just there's so many unique things you can do today that were not available to us years ago, but now there's no excuse.
Yeah, there's something that I just ran across this week that I think would really be advantageous. As I heard this, is that women, especially young women, are taking more selfies than ever before. And these new devices that they're using on their phones, and it's a new promo idea, is called Pop Socket. And you pop it on the back of your phone, but it expands so you can hold your hand in it and take a selfie.
Another gadget.
Yeah, another gadget, but a great gadget to use for trade shows.
Oh,
And
absolutely,
it would be that
yeah.
you would get, yeah, and it wouldn't be that you give that to everybody, but if that person took the time to hear your pitch, you pop that on the back of the phone and take a selfie with them. So
Genius.
put it out on social media, and wheel it out there while you're at the trade shows, because this person just came by your booth and mention them and tag them, That way they remember you. So that's a way of getting more people into your booth and getting more results. And on the thing about divide and conquer, we talked about trade show booths. Just because you build a booth doesn't mean they're going to come by your booth. Because it's more than just building a booth, setting up a thing. 74% of exhibitors don't conduct training events. They don't train their staff. If you hire someone, you go over to, say, Orlando or and do a trade show, and you don't have a big staff, you should try to go to a personnel company and get some temporary help. And get those people trained so they know what they're doing when they come to your booth, and they help you get that result. Because if you're overwhelmed, the people are going to go right out of your booth, and they're not going to know what you do.
Very, very spot on there. I know one of the company I worked with years ago was a health food distributor, and we would go to the Orlando show it was a big annual thing, and we actually had trainings at our offices here in the Melbourne area before we went over to Orlando. And one of the things the owner of the company did, he came around, he shook our hands, and he taught us how to shake hands, because so many people have limp handshakes and want us to be firm. And one of the things he said, I don't ever want to see you sitting down. You're always standing up and talking. And we all had to let our customers know what booth we were at. Again, this was pre-social media. We're talking a number of years ago, but we actually called each of our customers, our clients, and to find out if they were going to be attending the trade show, and let them know, our booth number so that they could stop by. So again, there's always ways to do this and to get bigger successes. Now, I know, gosh, this is awesome information. I know you have a lot of, tips that you'd like to share. So is there any, before we move on to how someone can actually overcome anxiety with attendees, is there any more you want to add to a tip on how you can divide and conquer at a trade show?
Well, there's one thing, everyone should walk the trade show floor at least once. To get to know the other exhibitors at that trade show, because they could be a potential prospect or future client. Yep. And it doesn't hurt when there is a speaker to go, make sure your booth is still have someone there, but when you go to hear the speaker, you go to the lunch that they're having, the luncheon, go in and mingle and sit with people and introduce yourself and tell them what booth number you're at.
Network.
Give out some little something, postcard with your booth number on it. Come by our booth and enter for a drawing. And it's getting people into that booth and getting them qualified as a prospect and future client.
You make this sound just so simple, so easy to be done. You're not trying to make it like rocket science type stuff. But I think you're very well structured in keeping it simple, because it's simple to start with, and people don't get run around in circles and trying to figure out hidden messages and everything. It's just laid out there. I love your process.
Well, and
thank you.
And that definitely agree with you, Richard, on that. I mean, you really do. I mean, just the way you present your expertise, and this is why someone that is not, maybe they're doing their first trade show or just starting in business, they really need to connect with you. So before we get into some more tips, I would love for you to share with our audience how they can connect with you so that they can learn more from you.
Yes, and I'd love to, if you go to my website and download my 7 strategic tips to maximize your trade show profits, I call it my 7 secrets. You can opt in. All you have to do is put your name and your email address. And if you opt in, I'm offering for the first, say, 10 people that opt in today, I'm giving a free 30-minute strategy session, especially if you're new to trade shows and you've never done one.
So you're going to give away 3 of those 30-minute complimentary consultations?
Actually, I'm giving away 10.
10? Okay.
10 30-minute strategy sessions for the first 10 that go in and opt into my 7. Download. They have to download it.
And that website is tradeshowwiz.com. That's TRADESHOWWIZ.com. And I do have that listed on our So Social Radio Show guest page. So go to sosocialradioshow.com/guest, and you'll see that. And I'll also have that up on social media on our So Social Radio Show page today as well, so that you can definitely get this downloaded, because it's just packed full of, as you say, 7 secrets. I love it, to maximize those trade show profits. So taking what the information you're sharing today on our So Social Radio Show and really expanding. So I love that idea. And thank you very much for that complimentary 30 minutes for the first 10 that actually opt in and get that. So I'll get that up there before I leave the studio today so that they can
Thank you, Chair.
jump in there right away. So I guess, you kind of shared about dividing and conquering and going in and visiting and networking, walking around the expo and visiting within the different presentations. But how do you actually overcome that anxiety with attendees? What would be a couple tips for you to overcome that, as far as, the attendees coming into and meeting you?
This is something I've experienced firsthand. Is, they walk right on by your booth. They don't even look at it. Just go right on past it.
Unless you're standing out like that jungle
you're
one.
not even there.
Yeah.
You don't have a booth. You're invisible.
Yeah, I've felt that.
So much. I see that so much. You just say, and you go, like you're not even there.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to have that friendly approach. And one thing I say is, don't pounce on the attendee, and don't start talking about, rattling off about your business. Ask them questions. Ask them what their challenges are with their business right now. What is it that they're having issues with in their business right now? What's their level 10 challenge that they need help with right now?
In other words, just start conversations.
Yeah, just start a conversation, Why are they attending the trade show? What's their purpose of attending?
Mm-hmm.
Just wheel out a couple of questions at them. Ask them why why they've made this their focus on coming to this trade show. What do they hope to gain?
Well, exactly.
Just simple, open-ended questions.
It seems so simple again, but when you start getting comfortable with doing it, it just starts coming naturally. And it takes some practice, and that's why you have to just get out of your shell and start doing it. Now, what are some ideas of the types of gifts you should have available and give away at a trade show?
Well, your giveaway should bring value, okay? If I'm looking at a trade show booth, you want your trade show booth to attract people, not drive them away. And like Richard was saying, just a bunch of paper out there. How about setting up a computer screen and have some videos and say, if you step in here, you win this, or have a Wheel of Fortune prize or golfing to drive them into your booth where they get something for a giveaway.
Again, that interactivity to get them involved, and that's where you're building that relationship with them, the know, like, and trust. Yeah. And they're going to start talking about your booth and tell everybody, hey, you got to go over there for the game show. Or
go over there for the game show. They're doing a toss game thing, or they're doing a Wheel of Fortune, or they're doing golf putting, or they've got a celebrity over there signing footballs. You know, it could be a football celebrity, you know, or a basketball, or, you know, it could be a magician doing things. It's according to what kind of trade show you're going to, you know.
Yeah, we've got a good friend that he is a trade show clown. And he goes to the different trade shows and performs magic and card tricks and all these other things that a magician would do. But it lines up not just the kids, but a lot of the business people are standing there going, wow, how did you do that? You know, and all these things. He's really good.
His whole purpose is to draw attention to the booth, and companies pay him to do this. Mm-hmm. And he loves it.
He's not cheap, but he is good.
But again, he has proof that when he is doing this for a company, that they have a much better return on investment from their follow-ups after the show, because people remember them.
Hey, you stopped by our booth, the one with the clown in it. Do you remember? Who's not going to remember? So you move on.
Especially if that clown is giving out gifts.
Exactly. He's a phenomenal balloon twister, too.
He does.
So he's actually, I give a shot. He's been a guest on our radio show before. He's our accountant. And I always say I got the best magician for an accountant. He works magic with my numbers. He
works magic at your trade shows, too.
Yes, he does. He does. In fact, I was going to introduce him to the Women's Prosperity Sisters. I think he'd be phenomenal at our conference.
Oh, yes, he would be. Very much so.
So he is so cool. So, gosh, all these tips are so phenomenal. And I know you've provided different ways to really stand out and make sure that you are getting the return on investment. But when the show is basically, you know, you've been engaging, but when it's complete, so what should you do as after the show ends? What are some great tips for that, so that, again, we don't lose that momentum?
Yeah, when we're all packed up and we're back at the office and it's the next business day.
Well, hopefully you've given them something that's impressed them and something that's giving them a lasting. But what I always like to do is put your less expensive things out for those people that come by the booth and break everything off your table.
Oh, yeah.
We all have them.
They come by and they got their bag out and they just started breaking. But what I like to do is just put some inexpensive things out, like notepads or pens or mint. Something of that nature, but then have my tier 2 gift. I call that my tier 1, the mints and the notepads. But my tier 2 gift goes underneath that table, and that is the prospect that is coming into my booth, and I'm qualifying them, and they want to take a few minutes to learn, and I've asked them questions, and I've got my lead capture. I've captured their information. I've now got it. And I reach under the table and give them that nice gift for thanking them for taking their few minutes of their time for me to learn more about their business and what they're looking for and what their challenges are.
So those that have really, you've struck up a deeper conversation, and then there's probably follow-up set. And so you're going to have that, continue the conversation after the show. So you're making them feel even more special, and they'll remember you even more. I love that idea.
Right. And talking about what Richard was saying is, how do you engage at the trade show? How do you gauge?
Richard, how do you engage?
My first thing is, I basically walk up and say, "Hi, I'm Richard, and you are?" And you sit there and let the pregnant pause go on as long as it takes on that. Yeah. And if they don't respond, obviously, and 15, 20 seconds, and, they weren't interested to start with, so I go on and say it again to the next. And I just introduce myself. Yeah.
Well, introduction and then giving that warm welcome feeling. So what really brought you to this trade show?
Mm-hmm. It's a powerful question, and I know that that's one thing that we try our best to do when we're doing a trade show. But what I love to do, again, we talked about different trade shows we go to. I love to walk around and just kind of observe to see how I am being made to feel. And I take note of what not to do from things I experience at different trade shows or expos or conferences, even chamber after-hour events, tabletop expos, those type of things.
And even like you said at the beginning, even at your local chamber of commerce or your networking club or whatever else social activities you go to where they allow you to present.
Yep, and presenting and speaking at shows or being able to teach a course. A lot of these things have breakout sessions where you have a trade show, but they're doing class sessions where you can break out and then you can go to that class and you're teaching a course.
And we've had a number of opportunities to do that, and it really has been beneficial for us. But we've had to also step back and take a look at the different trade shows we've spoken at, which ones really were in alignment with our audience. Some of them we've spoken at, opportunity, you speak, but then that really wasn't geared towards our audience. So we've had to really step back and take these tips that you've provided here today, and I'm going to even do more evaluation and assessment now that I've had all your tips. And, of course, I'm going to download that 7 Secrets to Your Trade Show Profits. I have even more.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I also know, gosh, we're down to almost 3 minutes here. This is just awesome, Evelyn. I mean, there's so much information. I know we could talk for another hour or two, I'm sure. So we'll have to definitely have you come back. But I want to make sure you let everyone know you have a Facebook group that is open that they can continue to. So if you want to share a little bit about that.
It's called Trade Show Marketing for Profits. And if you want to join, just go in there and click. And I'm going to start doing some webinars in there for people and giving them tips. And having little webinars, and it's something they can learn from to take to their next trade show. But just to say this, I'm going to say this in my closing. Working with a professional consultant will get you results in your trade shows. And one thing it'll do, it'll save you time, it'll save you money, and it'll deliver concise clients. And that's what people are looking for. They're looking for the concise clients. They're wanting to go to that trade show, and they're wanting to see results.
Well, it seems like a no-brainer. I mean, I would think that anybody that's preparing, especially a company that is sending their sales team there, it would be to their advantage of hiring you to come in and teaching and training them and making sure everything is in alignment, because the bosses may not be there.
Right. And I work with businesses before, during, and after the trade show to ensure they capture leads and engage their prospects and getting customers.
Awesome.
And so you don't leave your money on the trade show floor after the lights go dim.
Just the fact that you're providing that accountability, I mean, that is worth everything. That's worth more than whatever you spent for your trade show, because that's the revenue and future clients that you're going to be developing over the next months to years.
And Evelyn, believe it or not, we are out of time. We're wrapping up. We've got to wrap it up, but I want to let everyone know. First of all, we thank you so much, Evelyn, for joining us here today and sharing all your amazing tips on how to be that business exhibitionist at your trade shows. And I know that everyone will want to connect with you more, so I'm going to share all this information on our So Social Radio Show page. But you can actually go to Facebook right now and go to facebook.com/groups/trade show profits and join Evelyn's Facebook group right away. I'll have that link up there as well. And go to, especially be one of those first 10 people, go to tradeshowwiz.com to download Evelyn's 7 Secrets to Trade Show Profits and be one of the lucky winners of a free 30-minute consultation with her, so that you'll make sure you are set up to bring in those profits at your next conference. So with that, thank you, Evelyn.
Yeah, we do appreciate.
Thank you, Cheri and Richard.
Thank you. And folks, it's over, but make it a great, profitable week.